Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am so pleased to have as my guest, Gregory Thompson. And let me tell you a little bit about Gregory. He is a former federal inmate with 3 tours lasting over 20 years. Born and raised in California, Gregory was a drug dealer for everyone from big-name rock bands to surfers. Growing very tired of the prison lifestyle, he spent his last several years while incarcerated with a friend developing a business that is now coming to life. A beer company, an entertainment company, you might say. And their first beer is called Shanked, and it's out on the market today. Greg's first book is False Confessions, and it is also out on the market. And their first album is It's About Time, is set to be released. This is a comeback story, but far from a normal one. From real-life prison escapades and riots to real-life government-imposed barriers after release. It is a true ride, and I'm so excited for us to talk to Gregory today. I chose the theme from Fed joints to beer joints. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Gregory Thompson. Gregory, so excited to have you share your story and how you have changed your life around.
Well, I think that was a nice introduction. It kind of reminded me of how much time I spent in prison. I've been out for a while, so I've kind of gotten off that mindset, but it's everything to do with our business. It's in short, and you had on the one thing, I didn't write the False Confessions or From Fed Joints to Beer Joints. That's my partner, Jack. He's the intellectual property guy. I'm more the beer guy. And he writes songs and books and TV shows, which I'm sure you'll be hearing sometime because things are going along here pretty good.
Yeah, we'll have to have him on the podcast too.
Yeah, you will. He hasn't done as much time as me. He was his first offense, and he learned the first time. Where I was more of a slow learner, but a learner nonetheless. And when I got out this time, I got out. I was like, in a short synopsis, I was 58 years old. I got out. I was broke, riding a bus, working for minimum wage at a federal halfway house, and just starting my life over with a 9th grade education, a career drug offender, and it was rough. And I got my CDL and just started building my credit. And people saw what I was doing, and they invested a little money in me. And then I borrowed a bunch of money, and we've been going. And our whole premise was you're never too old to start your life over. Yeah. You're never too old to be a success, whether you've been to prison or not. Like I'm 66 now. My partner's 65, and we're gonna make it one way or the other. We're gonna make it, and that's kind of our story. Is if we can do it, I don't want to hear it. It's hard. Oh, I don't have time. This, that. You know the usual cop-outs. You're obviously a successful woman, and our thing is, look, you can do it. I did it with everything against me. 2 probations, one from a pot charge from Rhode Island from 1996. And this was in 2016. Forced me out of my sister's house. I had to go move to keep my job. They make everything much harder, as opposed to they talk like they try to help you get situated. Well, no, that's not true. I've gotten out numerous times. and it's pretty much you're on your own.
Mm.
And hopefully they don't get in your way too much.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you went to our website, like I said, you talked about our books and that, and that's Jack, and you saw there's a free download. We started this in prison as a publishing company, and then we just started kicking it around, and it kind of morphed into the beer, and then the publishing and the entertainment would help sell the beer, which nobody's done before. They usually go get famous, then they start a liquor company,
Yeah, right.
capitalize on their fame. Well, we don't have fame. We would be more infamous than famous. Um, but anyways, that's kind of what we're at. That's what our story is, and it's been I we're close. We're on the edge. Like we're gonna make it, but you know it's tight on financing, and we just need to keep going a few more months, and we got it because a lot of good
Yeah.
things are happening for us. I get an overwhelming positive response in the bars when I go sell the beer, even though the name's pretty edgy. I tell them, look, it's a negative, one of the negative aspects of prison that we're trying to turn into a positive.
Sure.
Uh, it's like that. We have a great beer, fortunately. I've been getting more accounts. Every week I get a couple, three new accounts. So
Oh,
it's working out pretty nice so far.
that's awesome. So, I know that who we are today is really a reflection of what we went through in the past. And, I can tell from your conversation so far that you are a man that's living in the present and letting the future take care of itself as it goes. So, i- what changed in you that from that person who was that drug dealer that, kind of your attitude, your mindset had to change. So what happened to change you?
That's a great question because it did happen. I had my epiphany. This last time when I got arrested, it was 2006, and I was in Rhode Island, and I got indicted by the feds, and at that time I said I'm tired of this life, you know, and I want to start doing something different, and the first thing I actually started to do was I kind of had a hole in me that drugs couldn't fill up. And
Yeah.
I tried, believe me, you know, drugs, money, chasing girls, whatever. Um, you know, that's like, you know, just false accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought maybe I had, you know, like I had spiritual issues.
Mm.
And for me, I did. And so I started trying to nourish my spirit more. And and find something to fill that and thinking that, you know, maybe that's what's missing. And so I've started going to church and that, and the Christianity thing didn't, I love the teachings of Jesus, but the whole organized religion thing didn't work when there was all these absolutes when the guy would preach. And I've read a book or two in my life, and so I know a few things. And so that didn't work on me, but I just started reading spiritual books and becoming in the moment, like you say, and embracing like I said, to me, like the teachings of Jesus, just they're so perfect with
Mm-hmm.
if you cut a lot, all the extraneous stuff off all of his, all the rest of it out, and all the words in red, just kind of like we're trying to be that person. You
Yeah.
know, of course,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that person, but that was something kind of to aspire to. And you know, and not judge, love myself, and
Yeah.
if I wouldn't have went on the spiritual journey, I wouldn't have made it. I followed some spiritual teachers, and I do it every day. While I was
Wow.
driving truck when I get out, I spent 2 hours a day at least, and without it, I'm not, I have to say I'm positive. I don't think I would have seen this through, and that's what changed for me.
Yeah. And I think that just like any addiction that you might have, it's it's never ending. You always are on this journey. You are always having to evaluate and pivot and change as life changes. Life hands you lemons, and now you got to figure out how to make that lemonade, right? And so for you, this beer uh, journey, this beer joint is
Yeah.
really a great positive aspect of making lemons out of lemonade.
Oh,
or lemonade out of lemon. So let's do
yeah,
it the
yeah,
right way.
lemonade's on a lemon. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. And every day, I still have, like everyone starting a business, I have new obstacles, and
Yes.
and there's only me and my partner Jack, and we can't afford to hire people right now, so we're
Mhm.
doing everything. I mean, this the stuff the legal stuff, everything that he's good at, and it's like every day new things come up, and sometimes it gets a little like, oh, how am I going to pull this off? But like I said, then I get I get set back in and do a meditation in my car, driving down to go sell beer. I get centered again and realize, well, just do the next step, go to your
Yeah.
next spot and do what you have to do and just accomplish your little task. And all the time you're accomplishing a little task, you're moving on. Things are getting done.
Yeah. And with all of the entrepreneurs out there, the startups, they, as you said, we all have our challenges, but what about the roadblocks and challenges that you have if you add that extra piece of a federal and type, time in prison?
Oh, it's made it real hard, and having to report and then having to take off work. But I gotta admit though, like New York, we went to go sell beer there. Well, in New York, you don't need a license. You just need an export license, like from California, and a licensed distributor. Well, no matter what, New York, they would never let me build a brewery there because I'm a felon.
Mhm.
And there's many places that are like that. And California has a lot of regulations about stuff, but as far as ex-felons, they do give you another chance. And
Yeah.
I appreciate them for that. It took us longer to get the liquor license. They checked us out more. My record's this
Hmm.
long. So but they did give us one, and then your banking and everything, you don't have I'm gone for decades, I'm a ghost. And so your history's not there. So financing, everything is harder. So luckily we're right up front that we're ex-felons, and that's our business is predicated on our story,
Hmm.
and so we don't have to fudge around it. We can tell them this is what it's like, and they go, no, we like what you're doing,
Hmm.
because it's part of our story, so it's right out front. Because it's but it opens doors also.
Yeah.
That's a
I would think that your mission that I read on your website, your disclaimer, is something that, you lead with, because as you said, there are people out there that have gone to prison, made a wrong decision, and and they need help. And so you're giving a percentage of your profit to helping others, which I think is really commendable.
yeah, but it's something we want to do. I've lived off the community. They incarcerated me. They paid to keep me for years. That's the least I can
Mhm.
do. And I know how hard it is for a lot of people. And everybody, I still had family support. My sisters, God bless my sisters, and
Mhm.
some people don't have that.
Yeah.
And also, to me, a lot of violence, especially violence against women and children, there's alcohol. It's alcohol related.
Yeah.
And to just to put drink responsibly, well, to me that's not enough. If we're saying we promise, if we ever have profits, to give 5% of them back.
Mhm.
And but violence against women and children, shelters, battered women shelters, most of that's alcohol fueled.
Yeah.
And to turn your eye to that wouldn't be right. We want you to drink responsible, and we want to be a responsible company, but we're selling a legal product. But we also feel that I don't mind shining some light on that I know
Mhm.
my product it causes a lot of problems in domestic life.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier about the name of your beer. You have a few names. Shanked is the one that's out there, but you have Escapa and Shot Caller. So tell me how you came up with your names.
Well, it's kind of funny. I came up with them in probably 2013 when the whole idea came to me when we were talking about expanding the company, because somebody that was there with us told us he had a beer company in Montana. And I said, well, we could have a prison theme one. And these names all just came to me. Shanked was the first one. I go, then we could have another one. The escapa, that's it. That's to escape in Spanish. And that's got a little guy crawling through a tunnel with the bars cut out. And then the shot collar. If you've been in prison, any higher security prison, all the races have a shot collar. The whites, the blacks, the Spanish, the Asians. And so they kind of mediate problems between the races. And if somebody has to be disciplined, one of their own, then they're in charge of it.
Oh, wow.
And their word is not really, you can't argue with them once they decide, and so they decide who gets a beating and everything else, And so anyways, that's where that came from, shock. And that we're coming out with shock collar, in fact, probably in 2 weeks. I'm waiting on the tap handles.
Cool.
And the beer's coming out. That's an IPA. I don't know if you're familiar with beer.
Yeah.
And our first one's a blonde ale, which is really easy to drink. We have great beer. I wish I would have sent you some and you would have gone, wow, this beer is really good. But that's how we did them. And we have other names lined up.
Super. And so what states are you distributing to right now?
Right now, just California. I'm in Orange and Riverside counties.
Okay.
I have an Arizona license, and I just changed the address of the brewery who was brewing my beer. So I have to reapply because I want to get to Arizona because my family's out in Lake Havasu, and that's a big drinking area. And I know a lot of bar owners there. But we plan on getting nationwide.
Perfect.
Well, you can buy our beer nationwide online. If you go to our website,
right. I saw that. Yeah.
That's from another company that does stuff like that called Craft Beer Kings. And it sends you to their site and they ship it to you. And it gets anywhere in the lower 48.
So Jack, I guess, is the author. Did you work with him to create the book?
I lived it with him.
Yeah.
He started it from Fed joints to beer joints. Now the book starts in a place called La Tuna in Texas. I wasn't there with him. Well, he did 2 years there, and then I did a bunch of other time from Victorville and Safford, and I ended up at a camp. In a camp now, when you get your security lowered, it doesn't have a fence around it. It's low security, minimum security. And so that's where me and Jack met. And he was working on that book when he got there. And then me and him became best friends and we worked together. He ran education, I ran recreation. So basically, if you wanted anything on that yard, you came to one of us. Programs, if you want to do programs, only recreation and education supplied them. So we pretty much had to deal with everyone. So then I became involved in the book and it morphed into our story from his story. And it's continued into what we're doing now. And the ending hasn't happened yet.
And so you mentioned a little bit about publishing. So do you and Jack publish, or do you try to get other inmates to write and be that publisher for them, or do you have a connection for them? How's that work?
Yeah, we did. And because we had some investment money and the thing in New York went sour with our distributor. We lost all of our money. And so pretty much we had to pull back and it's just Jack's now. But our long term is music and books. There's a lot of talented people in prison. And we want to, if they're writing hip hop, country, rock, whatever, we want to, as soon as we can fund it, I've got someone that's going to run that end of the music thing. We want to take submissions. And we want to help them bring it to market, either by us, probably doing it ourselves or finding them a home for it, because we're starting to get a lot of connections now, especially in Nashville in the entertainment business. So we wouldn't mind, helping people and getting a fee for it, or a piece if we can. But we're going to, that's our long-term goals, no doubt.
Yeah. I think Jelly Roll did some prison time, and
Really?
if I'm correct, maybe I'm not, but I think I am. And to me, if you've got that talent, it's great that you could have someone to champion that, and that would certainly help you integrate back into the, world again.
Oh, no doubt. There's people that we want to get on their radar. Like I would love to get on like Meek Mill. John Legend is huge in prison reform. Good.
Yeah.
John Legend's a great guy.
He is a great guy.
And we're gonna look to his organizations when we want to start hiring people, because we're gonna hire people that are coming out of prison and train them in the craft beer business. We had an apprenticeship program that we put one girl through it, but we lost that when we lost all of our money. We had to stop that, and but we'll restart it. But we did get her through, paid for some college courses for her, and got her trained at a brewery. But we're going to be getting people, like we'll be contacting John Legend's group, because he gets a lot of, I want people that want to change their life coming out of prison. I don't want someone just looking for a job. I want someone who did the right thing in there, maybe took some college courses, has a family, has a kid, and really wants to do something with their life. And I know how to find them people. I did a lot of time, and I know how to find them.
You can read when they're giving you a line. Well, this has been so interesting. We have talked a lot of different things. One of the last questions is, you and I are both, I'm going to be 66 in a few weeks.
Same age.
So I know there's things that I learned when I wish I would have known when I was 30. How about you? What do you wish you would have known?
Come on, that's horrible. But you know what? I don't regret it, because I'm kind of happy with who I am now. Who knows if I would have turned into this person without time in prison? Who knows if I would have found a nice spiritual base that took me to a place that keeps me happy inside? I don't know. If I never went through this and never went through these trials and tribulations, I might have just been drinking and getting high all the time and had a good job or whatever. But that doesn't mean I'm happy and fulfilled. So I'm kind of cool with where I'm at. But that's the great thing about choices. No matter how bad a choice you made, you get to make a new one this second.
And that's an important thing. I always talk about failure is not something to avoid. It's something to live, but I'll always get back up after it. How can you be better after that failure?
Yeah, Thomas Edison, he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways not to do it.
That's exactly right.
And I've learned probably 1,000,000 ways not to do it. But I'm learning some on how to do it. But the problem is I have no business experience, and I can't wait to get like investors that will like kind of help with that part of the business, the actual nuts and bolts of running it, and let me go out and do what I do good, and that's sell it, because I'm actually fairly good at it. Because it's my story, and so it's easier for me to sell, and I believe in it.
Awesome.
So it's been quite a trip.
So what person do you look up to as a rapid fire question?
I always liked Oprah.
Yeah, me too.
Oprah got me started on the spiritual journey that I started was because a lot of people, Oprah used to be real big in prison when she had her show. And every afternoon it was on in the TV room. And so she always had like Eckhart Tolle and Gary Zukav. She had these writers on, and I started buying books. And Oprah just seemed to, she had a lot of empathy for people.
She does.
And so I started watching her, and I used to make fun. Oh, what are you guys watching Oprah for? and then I started reading some of the books and listening to some of the people she had on, and it kind of inspired me and got me started on a journey that's worked out well for me.
Yeah. Well, I love hearing about your story, and I love your attitude, and I wish you all the best. I can't wait to have you back on in a few months to hear some more successes from you. If the audience has been inspired to and want to learn more about the beer, or maybe you're out there a great business manager that's got a good heart and wants to help out, contact Gregory at his website. So let me share that information with you. I always share my screen with the contact information. If you're just listening, you can go to my YouTube channel, Vicki Noethling, or my website to find the show notes. That's findyourleadershipconfidence.com. But Gregory's website is https://www.prisonbreakbrewery.com. That's prisonbreakbrewery.com. He is also on Facebook and Instagram. But let me have Greg talk to you about what you can find when you go out on that website. So Gregory,
Okay.
sorry, do you prefer
Greg. I go
Gregory?
by Greg. I go by Greg.
Okay, great.
Yeah, or GT in prison sometimes. But anyways,
Uh-huh.
Greg. Well, if you go to our website, first off, we did this. My nephew, myself and Jack. We didn't hire people to do it. We did our own website, and we're kind of proud of it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, you saw it. That's true.
Hmm.
That's it. Well, it'll tell you a little bit about our story. You can. It also obviously will tell you where to buy our beer. It's under the where to buy, and it allows you to buy it nationwide. If you click on, it's got our store, and I really encourage people to go on and look at Tales from Behind the Fence. I know you read it. That's the blog with Elroy Crow,
Right.
and my partner Jack wrote that, and it's kind of a takeoff on where we met in Florence in federal prison. Then you get excerpts from our book, from beer joints to from fed joints to beer joints, and also a free country music download. That's our albums coming out. The name of that album is going to be The Last Straw. Um, and because the person who wrote all the songs is named Jack Straw,
Oh.
and the name of the band that's singing them all, it's all different people, and it's called Beer Heroes,
Mm.
and you can get a free download of that song right now called it's called Horizons on our website, and that
Awesome.
guy was on he came in second on The Voice.
Oh, wow.
uh, he's trying to buy that song from us for his album, but he hasn't got his financing together. But they paid to record that themselves. And it's a good song. You get on there if you listen to country music.
Perfect. Hmm.
Yeah, it's a nice song. And it shows a little bit about our beers and stuff. It's got all of our social media links, and pretty much it's a little bit different as far as websites go, but you kind of get a feel for what we're up to.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for being a great guest. I enjoyed very much our conversation today. Definitely will check out your beer. While I'm not a beer drinker, I got people all around me that are. So we'll make sure we get some that beer coming the way to Georgia to let you know how we like it. And as always, thank you so much for being a great
You know
guest.
what? You're very nice. I did one of these with another guy, a doctor, and he was just like, there was like no form to it, and it was much more enjoyable because you helped me along and led me and kept me focused, and you're very nice too. So it was enjoyable talking to you.
Thank you so much. And as I remind everyone, life is a journey and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.